Hi, ladies. Today we are so excited because you are going to learn how to both see and feel whether or not your foundational muscles are working for you.
It's what we call your up and in support, your up and in muscles. And after pregnancy and childbirth, there's a lot of down and out through all of your core. And we need to restore that up and in support. And so we're talking about what that is and what that means.
And so that up and in support, all we're talking about are those muscles of the pelvic floor, your deep abdominals, your back extensors, and your hip flexors, all working synchronously together to support you while you're not having to think about it.
And that is where up and in support comes from. And it feels so good when you get it back. Many of our women don't even realize how long they've been missing it until they have it again. And you might like to know, how am I going to know if I need that support or if I've lost it? We have 3 checks for you to do on yourself today. We're going to talk you through that next.
So the first thing is, how do you know just by looking at yourself? We're going to talk about a postural assessment that you can do for yourself. And Christina is going to be our fitness model again today.
Posture model.
She's going to turn to the side and give 2 of the common postures that women whose foundational muscles are not working for them, or those up and in muscles are not turned on. So Christina, you want to do the most common one that we show in our picture here? Yeah. So you can see she's got her hips pressed forward. She's leaning on her ligaments. Her core is not strong enough to support her. She's got her shoulders rounded and her head forward here.
This is the beginning of that mama hump in your back. And this is part of where that pooch comes from. It's just muscle engagement sometimes.
Yeah. So once you get that up and in foundation, this actually feels comfortable to stand up with good posture, because it's not like anyone's trying to have bad posture. It's simply those muscles have gone dormant and they are not working for you. So she's going to show the other one that we typically see with who we call our hypermobile ladies.
You have those loosey-goosey joints, and I'm going to try to imitate this, but my joints are not loose. So I'm going to try to get this right.
Yeah, you lock those knees out, you lean on those ligaments through the hips, and you may not be as rounded forward, but you probably got a lot of clicking and popping happening both in your hips and in your shoulders.
And
so
your knees are definitely hyperextended. I don't know if you can see that here with my pants on, and your hips are kind of jutted forward and you're just resting like this because you don't have the muscular support.
So she's going to come back to that neutral, easy posture for Christina, because her up and in foundational muscles are turned on and easily working for her and comfortable for her to stand up nice and tall.
So check yourself out in the mirror, or maybe you don't even need to check yourself out in the mirror. Maybe you saw that and you were like, oh my gosh, that's me, and I want to not stand like that forever. So we've got your answer. But the next check you can do if you're still not sure is a movement check.
Yeah, so we're going to do 2 tests. This first one is a one-legged hip hinge. Christina's going to do it on both sides, and I'll coach you through this. All you're going to do is take your right foot off the floor and you're going to do the other side. No, I thought you were going to do this side.
Okay.
Yeah. She's going to take her right foot off the floor and hinge forward from her hip. And what should happen is that she should be able to maintain her hips down towards the floor. And I always like to coach women through this, like you have an invisible glass of water on your back that you're trying to keep from spilling. So whatever foot is coming off the floor, that's going to be the hand that reaches. Yeah. Okay. So you can see Christina's performing this exercise correctly. Her hips are staying down towards the floor. That looks very simple. I will say about 99% of the women that I work with in person that do this the first time cannot do that properly. So here's what theirs typically looks like. Christina's going to demonstrate that again. Those hips can't stay towards the floor, and they end up having to rotate their hips to be able to hinge forward, and she'll show it on the opposite side as well. Yep. Okay, so in order for them to maintain their balance, they have to rotate their hips. So that's a really quick and easy check for you to do on yourself. Can you lean forward without having to rotate those hips? If you can't, that means you could use some of that up and in support that we keep talking about. The last test is a little not more complex maybe to figure out, but if your pelvis is rotated, Christina's going to bend her knee and lift it.
And you're going to hold on the front of your hips to feel what's going on here. Hands on your hips.
Yep. So if your pelvis is in alignment and your foundational muscles are working for you, you can see Christina's hands don't move as she lifts and lowers her knee. Many of the women that we ask to do this exercise, they have to hike their hip in order to lift their knee. So if you feel any upward movement with your hands on those hips, that means number one, you could definitely benefit from an adjustment from a Webster Chiro or an integrative manual therapist or someone, a practitioner that you trust. But secondly, it also means that you do not have that up and in support. So do these checks on yourself. It's really powerful when you really start to connect the dots between, okay, I felt weak since my kids were born. I felt like I haven't been able to engage with my core. A lot of the exercises I used to love don't feel right anymore, or they cause all kind of aches and pains. Do these checks on yourself to determine once and for all, do you have your foundational strength? Are your abs, your pelvic floor, your outer hip muscles, your glutes, and your low back all working together for you as they should be to support you in movement and in posture? And if you're failing any of these tests, the answer is no, those up and in support muscles are not working for you. And if you're further curious, go to our website and take the 5-minute quiz that also helps women connect the dots between a lot of issues, all related to this up and in support you may have going on. You don't realize they're all connected and can all be solved at one time. And lastly, whether you're in the program or not, we do offer one-on-one consultations. So if some of the things that we've been talking about have resonated with you when it comes to back and hip discomfort, please reach out to us. You can DM us, you can leave a comment below, you can reach out to us on social media, email us, hello@tightenyourtinkler.com. We would love the opportunity to connect with you and point you in the right direction. On these one-on-one consultations, oftentimes we're making the proper referrals to which practitioner you should see next, or what products might help alleviate some of the issues that you are dealing with.
So you should start avoiding to make sure you stop making things worse. All those matters can be addressed.
So we hope this was helpful. If you found it helpful, we'd love it if you'd share it with a friend. And we're going to be on a 2-week break for the holidays, but we hope that you and your family have a fabulous, safe holiday, and we'll see you again soon.